They're going to have to push this thing all the way down the field after each one of them run 400 meters.
Absolutely. And, you know, one interesting thing, the question that's been running around, CrossFit athletes, very familiar with running multiple 400-meter runs. In a workout, for example, like Helen, you'll see 3 400-meter runs mixed with some other tasks. But those runs are probably only being executed at about 75 to 80% intensity, where this is one all-out sprint. Are they going to have the strategy that it takes to hold an average speed the whole time?
There's a lot of thought that goes into this. They say, and I've never run track before, but everybody I talk to says that the 400 is the hardest race. How do you run it? Do you start out fast? Do you start out slow? We don't know, but we're fixing to see right now. The other thing you got to think about, Joe, is strategy. Who's going to go first? Who's going to go second? Who's going to go last? That's something these teams have got to think about, that the individuals don't have to think about as much as where they're placing their teams.
And it looks like right now for heat number 1, we've got, and we're getting ready for the start here. It looks like most of the teams, Thomas, have selected to use the ladies to run the first leg, and they are off. And this looks like a very fast pace. Now, you were talking about strategy a second ago, Thomas. How do you run the 400-meter dash? Now, this is approximately 415 meters. Couple different options.
All the same, I think you can either start out real fast and end slow. I mean, that's typically the way it is, because you can't run 400 meters full speed. You can't do that. Or you can pace yourself, kick it at the end. You know, it doesn't really matter. I think that's just a preference. As you can see, the girl that's leading right now, she's going out really, really fast. She's holding her speed pretty good. How is she going to end this last 100 meters? We don't know. But you see right now, there's a dip in the pack right there. There's a really, really wide margin between number 1 and number 2.
And what we're going to see here is the first leg comes to a close. There's no official exchange zone. What we're going to see is the athletes will tag hands, and that is when the next runner can start. And we're going to get a good look at that right here, and we already see the second leg beginning. And again, very interesting. It looked like we saw the front runner there go out really hard on that first leg. They're in the lead right now, but how will that run affect her ability when they get to that sled?
That's the thing. Two different thought processes is you get done quicker, you get more rest. You get done later, you get done rest. Well, if you get done quicker, okay, if you're done quicker, you've got more rest so that you can recover for that big bobsled. Or if you're going to conserve energy through the run so that you've got energy on the big bobsled. That's the thing, strategy. Strategy. How are you going to attack this thing?
Absolutely. And we see right now a great shot of the track. The ladies are starting first. The men will be the last 3 legs to go. Thomas, one of the mistakes that could come from going out too hard on this 400, at best, we could see someone coming to extremely slowing down on that last leg. At worst, all right, I heard some of the athletes talking, they were worried about pulling a hamstring. It had been so long since they'd ran an all-out 400.
All-out 400 is not something you typically do. In CrossFit, usually, like you said earlier, it's multiples over a longer time period. As you can see right there, you look right there. The young lady in blue is passing somebody. She's taking the theory of, hey, I'm going to go and bust it, try to get done as quick as possible.
And once again, we're in Carson, California at the 2012 Reebok CrossFit Games. This is the first heat of the first team event of the weekend. This is the beginning of one of 4 events that will go down today. Again, right now we're going to see 2 events happen back-to-back. The 6x415-meter team relay going immediately into the Big Bob, pushing a 750-pound sled 100 meters down the field, and then all 6 team members with ropes will pull Big Bob back 100 meters. Each event 100 points each, and then we still have 2 more events to go later on in the afternoon.
Right now, looks like, Joe, we have Bomb Squad leading everybody closely behind Champlain Valley, with CrossFit Explode in 3rd, and in 4th we have CrossFit SoCal.
And again, what's so interesting about this event, many of the fans of these teams right now could be very excited about where their team is, but it's kind of funny. After they run this, they're going to get a rest, a very short rest before Big Bob. Now, they could score some big points on this run, but again, I'd be interested to see what's going through some of their heads when they finish that run. Are they saying, oh my gosh, this sled is going to be a big task?
Big task. And the thing you have to realize also, this thing is going to be scored as 2 different events. So the sprint relay is worth 100 points for first place. The winner of Big Bob event is worth 100 points as well. So you've got 200 points compacted in here in about 25 minutes. 2 different events right here together.
And the CrossFit game, the goal of the CrossFit Games, Thomas, on the individual side of the competition, we want to find the fittest man and the fittest woman on earth. The team competition, what's the question? We are trying to find who is the fittest 6-person team on the planet, and these teams represent their affiliates from all across the world.
The thing that CrossFit's done a great job at this year is they've created this competition to where all 6 people have to be well-rounded. You can't specialize. In the past, you've been able to specialize. Hey, we've got a good gymnastics person here and a big heavy lifter here. You can't do that this year. Everybody's got to be able to do bar muscle-ups. Everybody's got to be able to run good. Everybody's got to be able to be functional in everything that they're doing. And so this is a very, very good job that they've done this year.
Absolutely. And the CrossFit Games, we're going to see long events, short events, the demands of being able to lift heavy weights for low reps, medium weights for moderate reps, light weights for high reps. This isn't your typical test of fitness. We are testing everything here this weekend, and we're getting just a glimpse and a preview to what the weekend's going to look like here with these 415-meter sprints.
The men are really getting after it pretty hard right now. Bomb Squad's still leading. Diablo CrossFit has moved into second, followed by CrossFit Awesome. Excuse me. They've swapped right there. Diablo CrossFit, or SoCal, has moved into second right now. Champlain Valley has moved into second. So what we're having is we're having a jockey back and forth between second, third, and fourth. There's been a big shift right there. Now, Bomb Squad seems like they've got this thing in pretty good control. Bomb Squad's leading looks like about 40 or 50 meters right now.
Absolutely. And it makes you wonder, is the best strategy here, if you're going into this event, Thomas, if everybody goes all out as fast as they can run a 415-meter sprint? Or do you go as slow as you can, leaving a lot left in the tank for the Big Bob? Or would you feel comfortable being somewhere right in the middle? Is that kind of the safe zone?
I would say right in the middle. Here we have Champaign Valley Team Butchers, Diablo CrossFit just finished first right here in the team sprint relay.
And we get a good idea with this first heat of what these times are going to look like. Diablo CrossFit with an unofficial time of 6 minutes and 32 seconds. And these teams are finishing within seconds, tenths of a seconds within each other.
Look right here, Joe. It looks like we have a tie for first. We have 6 minutes and 32 seconds, 0.4 by Diablo and Team Butchers Lab. And here's what we talked about. Bomb Squad leading the whole time. And then all of a sudden at the end, he looks like he ran out of juice, had 3 teams get in front of him. And here we have Diablo CrossFit at number 1, Team Butchers Lab at place 2, TJ's Gym Mill Valley in place 3, Bomb Squad in 4, CrossFit Awesome in 5, CrossFit SoCal in 6, Champaign Valley in 7, Rogahana in 8, CrossFit Explode in 9, Tropic Thunder in 10, and Jet City CrossFit at 11.
And now what we're going to see, as all teams finish, we're going to be moving on to Big Bob. How are those legs feeling right now after running that 415-meter sprint?
Hey, when I was in college and we had to run the 400, the guys that ran it, they called it the butt lock, because your hamstrings and your butt were locking up right now.
Yeah,
when you run these 400s.
I would venture to say I've ran about 200 all-out 400s in my day, and that is exactly right. One day, Michael Johnson, the great 400-meter runner, called it the 400 flu and the booty lock.
Booty lock. I like the term. So they're going to have a small rest right here, and then they're going to move into the Big Bob. Now here it's raining in Southern California, and which is, I'm not from Southern California, and I thought it was sunshine 365 days a year. Here I was wrong. So it's raining out here, and so you've got this steel sled that Rogue Fitness has made that they're pushing. That's brand new. No one has done that. No one has pushed this thing before in competition. This thing was unveiled 2 nights ago, and here they are fixing to push and pull this thing 200 yards. And so the strategy here, Joe, what's the strategy here on this? How do how do you place the members on this team? What's your thought on this?
You know, I know that the athletes had a chance to get on the Big Bob. I talked to a team this morning that pushed it about 20 meters, and they said after 20 meters that it was just completely exhausting. Since this is such a new implement, I mean, no one's really done this before. So I know that there's all right, so lane assignments for the Big Bob. We have raw training, CrossFit Central competitors, TJ's Gym, Jet City, CrossFit Explode, Team Butcher's Lab, Champlain Valley CrossFit, Tropic Thunder, Diablo CrossFit, QCCF Awesome, CrossFit SoCal, Rogue Gahana, and the Bomb Squad.
Okay, now Joe, these sleds are kind of a cross between a football sled and a bobsled, which is kind of odd. But hey, you know, the guys at Rogue Fitness do a great job at creating these implements for CrossFit, creating these implements for everybody around. And these things weigh close to over 900 pounds.
All right, and once again, ladies and gentlemen, you're seeing the same teams who just finished the sprint relay, and we're getting ready to go. And they're off. And some of these sleds are moving fast, Thomas.
They are. You've got to pace yourself on this thing. This is 100 yards. This is not a sprint. This is, in a theory, kind of like a longer distance. Pushing a sled in football, you're pushing the thing 10, 15 yards. This is 100 yards. This is a long way. Right now we have Diablo CrossFit leading. And you can see right now on your screen, they started out in a brisk jog, and then all of a sudden, what they've done is they've moved into a walk. Now, what Reebok did is Reebok gave everybody cleats, and so these guys have got some cleats if they chose to wear them for this event. CrossFit Explode is leading right now, followed by Jet City, TJ's Gym. TJ's Gym just moved into first. As you can see here, you've got some teams that are just so gassed, Joe, that they've just stopped in the middle of the field.
Absolutely. And again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the second event of the team competition, starting immediately after the first event. So this is scored completely separate. They just went for 100 points on the sprint relay, and now the Big Bob event with a 16-minute time cap also is worth 100 points.
As you can see, the first team to get to the end was TJ's Gym. They get there. Look how slow they're moving, Joe. These guys are so gassed. They've each run a 400. Then they've pushed a 900-pound sled 100 yards. Now they're having to wrap a rope around the sled and pull the thing back 100 yards.
Yeah.
Grueling. This is awful on your quads and hamstrings.
Now, technically, there's less friction when you pull something than when you push it, but they did just run 415 meters, and they already pushed it 100 yards. I'm curious to see what the rate that this sled gets pulled at here on this closing leg.
So here they go. We've got a long rope pulling this thing, and CrossFit Explode is in first, followed by CrossFit SoCal, Jet City in third. Pretty good pace. You've got ladies leading this thing right here on the CrossFit Explode.
Yeah, you know, there's been a few times when I'm sure we've all helped a couple friends push a stalled car, a stalled truck out of the road, but a 900-pound sled, they're moving it with 6 people 200 yards.
200 yards. The thing that you got to think about too, again, this is the team competition. This is not the individual competition. Thought process, strategy. Okay, who's going to be at the beginning of the rope? Who's going to be in the middle? Who's going to be at the end? Those are things you got to think about when you're putting this thing together. This is why it's so important to have a coach. Have a coach here saying, hey, this is what we need to do. As you see right here, we've got 2 male individuals right there pushing the sled with 4 other teammates pulling the sled. So they've got most of the ladies pulling the sled with 2 men pushing the sled. Hey, different thought process by everybody. It's going to be interesting to see what comes out first on this.
Absolutely. And if you're just joining us, we are live from Carson, California at the Home Depot Center for the 2012 Reebok CrossFit Games. You are looking at the second event, first heat of the team affiliate competition. There are 3 men and 3 women to a team. This is the first event in the pursuit of finding who is the fittest gym on the planet.
Something to think about too, Joe. This is just the first heat. You've got 3 more heats after this. So TJ's Gym is finished in a time of 3 minutes and 15 seconds. They're not necessarily in first place right now. For this heat, they are. Now you've got 3 more heats left after this. So what it is the best times of every heat. Best times of every heat, and then you put those together and you get the best times, and that's how we're getting our order.
And our unofficial time, TJ's Gym winning this first heat in 3 minutes and 15 seconds, followed 16 seconds later by CrossFit SoCal in a time of 3 minutes and 31 seconds. And we're going to see here who's going to take that third place finish in this heat.
CrossFit Explodes in third right now, breathing, fixing to finish this event.
All right. And for anyone that's ever pushed a prowler or a sled, they know that it doesn't take much to get a very sickening feeling in the body, very similar to running that 400-meter dash. These teams have to be experiencing something similar right now, as we have Diablo CrossFit finishing in a time of 4 minutes and 15 seconds. And they look tired.
TJ's Gym right now finishes the Big Bob in first. Congratulations to TJ's Gym. We've got 3 more heats after this. As you can see, TJ's Gym, there are these guys are laid out pretty good. This is taxed their quads really good.
And so right now we are our fastest 2 times, 3 minutes and 15 seconds by TJ's Gym, 3 minutes and 31 seconds by CrossFit SoCal. And we are waiting. We have 3 teams yet left to finish. Champlain Valley, the Bomb Squad, and Tropic Thunder still fighting to finish this second event, Big Bob.
That's the awesome thing about CrossFit is you see all these teams, they're cheering these other teams on as they finish. The only sport I know of, Joe, where teams that are winning an event will cheer on the teams that have not finished yet. I think it's an awesome thing. I think that's why I love CrossFit so much. Absolutely.
One of the very unique things about this sport is the camaraderie amongst the competitors. And you see it, even more so with the affiliate competition. The team members are there for one another, and then they're there for their competitors as well.
Exactly. We've got 2 teams left, Bomb Squad and Tropic Thunder. As you can see, the other teams are cheering these guys on.
And at this point, those arms and legs, your grip, have to be screaming. You're holding on to that rope. The legs are just exhausted from the run and then the push of Big Bob, and they're just fighting to get that huge sled across the finish line.
1 team left to finish, and Bomb Squad is fixing to be done. 1 quick push, about 10 more feet, and they'll be done.
And here we go. Bomb Squad fighting to cross the finish line, and they have done it. So Bomb Squad closing out this first heat of event number 2, right, in a time of 6 minutes and 19 seconds. Well, that's a great way to start off the weekend, Tom. All right, so let's look at how they came in. We had TJ's Gym, 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Second place in that heat, CrossFit SoCal, 3 minutes and 31 seconds. And rounding out our top 3 unofficially, Diablo CrossFit, 4 minutes and 15 seconds. So what do we have next? We're going to go back to event number 1, right, for our second heat. Again, how this is being run, we have 2 events back to back, right? We're doing event number 1, event number 2, and then going back to event number 1 for the second heat. That was the first of 4 heats for event number 1 and event number 2 this morning. So I don't know if the other... All right, so that was a great look at our first 2 heats. We're going to be back shortly with heat number 2 of events number 1 and 2. We'll see you guys in a little bit.